perfect game on TV. There have been 16, of course, but not one since Mika did it a couple years ago in Connecticut. Parker Bowen III winning in Brentwood, and Walter Ray Williams Jr. won his first Masters title, 6th major. That was his last major championship. We have not seen Walter Ray on TV all year long. Let's flash back to January 23rd, 1988, and that great moment with Bob Benoit.
Bob Benoit being tested. I think the test is over. He's proven that he has the mettle to be a professional bowler. Now let's see if he can have bowling immortality. He's got 10 in a row.
He has 11 in a row. And Susan, oh, the pressure on this sweet blonde. Tears in her eyes. And if this doesn't get your heart pumping, I doubt if there's much that will. One to go for 100,000 smackers. Oh, yeah!
In semifinal number 2, we have a dream matchup. Lefty superstar Patrick Allen against BB Brian Voss.
23 years, that's 23, one every year.
That's right. He has got 23 titles, going for 24 today for the PBA Hall of Famers. Steve Wilson got by Chris Barnes. Wilson looking for his first title in many years, won by 10 pins. Let's go now to the second semifinalist. They're ready with Randy Peterson.
Thanks, David. PA, we'll start with you first. In December in Harrisburg, you take out 51-year-old Tom Baker, and today you bowl against 47-year-old Brian Voss. What's up with you beating up on the old guys?
Well, I haven't beat up on Brian Voss yet. I mean, he's won more titles than I've made shows, so we got a lot of work to do now still.
Okay, Pat, thanks. BB, 47 years of age, 24th year on tour. How are you able to stay motivated week in and week out?
Well, I love what I'm doing. It's hard work. I thrive on winning. I haven't won, it's been a while since I won. Actually, it's been a while since I made TV. It's really nice to be back. I hope I do this forever.
Thanks, Brian. Hall of Famer Brian Voss taking on the reigning PBA Player of the Year, Dave.
Great matchup. Voss is boss. 24 years on tour now and 82 TV appearances. 4th all-time in career earnings. To finish up Brian's point, last time he was on TV, Ypsilanti, Michigan, the Eastern Michigan University Convocation Center. World Championships, lost to Chris Loschetter in the event, eventually won by Patrick Allen, which was his first major title, and was the springboard to PA winning Player of the Year. Last title for Brian Voss, Orange County last season. Over Mike Machuga in the finals. PA bids for his 2nd title of this season.
I'll make up for it there. Come on, Alabama.
A little fireworks early from Patrick Allen. I'm impressed.
Maybe that helps him get some of the butterflies out. Kind of hooping it up early, but this guy Brian Voss has been around for a long time and has been great for many, many years.
8th on the all-time Denny's PBA Tour title list with 23. Don Johnson, Dick Weber are next. 26 titles. No help on number 4. Wiggles but stands.
3-3. He had a little bit of that Chris Barnes reaction on this lane where a little bit too much back end down the lane. So to compensate for that, he either needs to move in a little bit or needs to throw it faster.
Leading us to our Ace Hardware matchup, 2nd semifinal today, PABB.
Brian Voss, the veteran, taking on one of the hottest players on tour right now. You can see how many titles that BB has, almost as many titles as he's been out on tour years-wise, and all the money that BB has made. Patrick Allen closing in on $1 million.
It was in high. He knew through the nose that ball was bound. As we saw that note a moment ago. Very good season last year, but first TV appearance of this season.
This is just a bad shot. I mean, he pulls this all the way, and even though the lane conditions were fairly forgiving this week. You can't pull it that far and expect it to lay there and hit the pocket.
3-6, spare conversion attempt. Multi-pin numbers okay. Has both down there. Now for Brian Voss at 47 years old, Randy, I'm intrigued to hear your response to this. You're in your 40s as well. Brian told us last night, not as easy to get ready for tournaments as it once was when he was younger.
Yeah, and you have to ask yourself how much longer can he compete at this level? And I can tell you from experience that, you know, your body just doesn't feel the same as it did 10 years ago. The joint stiffness, all of the wear and tear, all the miles that we put on our bodies going through the rigors of the Denny's PBA Tour. It's been brutal.
Blitzing the rack there is Patrick Allen from Tarrytown, New York, 35 years old, who has 6 titles. We see his road to TV, Mika Koivuniemi. That was a 5-gamer that had a roll-off, too, early in that match. And he was way down, Jeff Zaffino. 0-3, came all the way back. In fact, PA said after some early qualifying troubles in the round of 64, he was bowling so poorly he had no business being even in the round of 32.
Yeah, well, something happened the second block of qualifying where PA went from being like 30 over to shooting like 380 or 90 over. I mean, he just barely qualified, but he averaged almost 250 the second 7 games.
10-pin stands for Patrick Allen. He told us last night he has done his best to downplay winning the Player of the Year award last year. Because, let's face it, as he says, there's a bullseye on his back now. Everyone's shooting for him.
I mean, you know, look, what he did last season, you'll never be able to take that away from him. Nobody will. And I think he needs to, I think he does try to downplay that a little more than he should. But that's PA. And, you know, right now, PA is quietly having a great season. And if he were to win today, Dave, I think he's your front runner for Player of the Year. And then everything would then rest on who did what in the 3 upcoming majors.
Big part of our season all coming up. 3 majors to go. U.S. Open, Denny's World Championship, Indianapolis, and the season-ending Dexter Tournament of Champions.
Yeah, look what Brian Voss did to Parker Bone III, who absolutely both fantastic this week, and Wes Malott, who's again on the top of the Denny's PBA point list.
All 10 down for Brian Voss, who at 47 years old, one of the older players, a regular exempt member. Tom Baker, the oldest. You mentioned Tom's name in the interview with Patrick Allen, knocked him off in Mechanicsburg. Tom was 51. And while on the subject of older bowlers, the PBA announced the 2006 Senior Tour schedule this week. 9 events, starting April 22nd in Manassas, Virginia. The big highlight, Senior U.S. Open, Suncoast Center in Las Vegas. Coming up in June. Voss leads by 11. It's spun in a bit high and a 4-pin.
Well, this is a better shot that he threw on this lane, but doesn't look like he's lined up right. That ball going high. You know, when you throw it good and the ball goes high like that, it's just a slight adjustment, maybe left with his feet. But what's disturbing is the fact that he wasn't real lined up going into the start of the match.
Takes care of the 4-pin, as he told you in the interview, told us last night when we met with him. The motivation now is to get back in the limelight, be back on TV. And at some point, try to become Player of the Year again. That's not easy. PBA.com, your best source for all the latest PBA news, stats, player features, fan polls. In this week's poll, we asked who you thought had the best chance of winning the Jackson Hewitt $1 million challenge for winning the remaining 3 majors. The top 4 vote getters are right there. Norm Duke, who's made 4 shows, hasn't won yet, though. Tommy Jones has won twice. Walter Ray Williams Jr., no TV for him yet this year. Pete Weber has a win in Hammond, Indiana. And the others, are you in the others category?
Yeah.
10.08%. Interesting poll run this week. Our title sponsor, Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, the $1 million challenge for any bowler who can win the last 3 majors. What excitement that will bring if it happens. Double wood.
I want you to watch this and watch this ball actually bounce a couple of times when it hits the lane. And see what happens is that delays roll, and that's why that ball went light. And PA goes solid 10-pin in 3rd frame. And he could have really gotten on top of Brian Voss early. Instead, with a spare here, this is a 9-pin match.
Double wood. 3-9. Down they go. And things are close, as was the case in the first semifinal. We mentioned a couple times Walter Ray Williams Jr. not on TV this year. He's 17th. That certainly makes him exempt for next season. High finish was just outside the show. Round of 8 this year. It's been 18 events since he's been on TV. 30 since he won. That was last year in Cleveland. And that is the longest drought since 01. He's still 1 win shy of tying Earl Anthony's all-time tour victory record of 41.
Wow.
Look out. Almost had the big 4. 6, 7, 10 up. How does he go about this one?
He's got to get the ball left of the 6-pin and slide it on over. Get 6. Oh, get the ball over into here. Throw the 6 into the 7. The ball will take out the 10. But I'm a little confused as to how PA went through the nose on that lane.
Spinning across the deck, just misses the 7.
He went light on the right lane. Then he comes back and either throws it a little too slow or grabs too much of it.
I want it.
And goes right through the face. And it's exactly what a guy like Brian Voss needs. Somebody hanging around to give him an opening to let him back in this match, and that's exactly what just happened.
All the experience in the world. 592 career events competed in for Brian Voss. Can he take advantage of the big opening? Yes, he can. The leader in that category, Tom Baker, at 753 events competed in. So BV trying to use that great experience to his advantage today.
You let a guy hang around enough, and Brian Voss just trying to shake some of the cobwebs off and kind of catch his breath and get his nerves and his emotions intact, find a way to get the ball to the pocket, get lined up, and then just start making good shots, and that's exactly what's happening.
Double here, puts him up 15 pins. 6th frame.
Oh, my!
Oh, finally, that's the first one of them.
1 second, it looked like a 7-10. The next, all 10 were down. For Brian Voss, the Hall of Famer. Maybe luck is in on his side today. He's got a lead on Patrick Allen, the defending champ here in Trussville, Alabama. We're in Greater Birmingham, Alabama, the heart of Dixie. And Patrick Allen is down to Brian Voss by 15 pins in the second semifinal. Steve Wilson won the first. He'll take on the winner. March to the Denny's World Championship. Here's the points list. Now the top 4 make the round of Super 16, so they bypass all qualifying at our World Championship location this year in Indianapolis. So it's very big to be in the top 4. Patrick Allen 7th right now, enjoying a great season.
Quietly. I mean, he's not making a whole lot of noise, but 4 shows, a win. A chance to get another win here. Real solid season after what was a spectacular season last well, you know what I mean, last year, even though it runs into 2 years. It's kind of confusing for me.
I followed you.
Thanks, Dave.
Back to PA. Not the perfect shot, but all 10 down for him. He does have the 4 shows. The Japan Cup, Denver, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, where he won. And now here in Birmingham. So he, Wes Malott, Norm Duke have 4 shows each. Wes does have a win. That was in Denver. Norm has not won yet.
Come on.
So all are in that ever-growing hat, throwing their name in for Player of the Year honors. A lot yet to happen with 3 majors still to come. But it's wide open this year.
Norm Duke second on the point list, no wins. Tommy Jones right behind that. In third, Mike Scroggins won the first major. In fourth, Jason Couch.
Not yet, Horse. Not yet.
Jason Couch in fifth with his 2 wins. And Patrick Allen says, this isn't over yet, my friend, Mr. Hall of Famer.
Other names, bottom of your screen. Round of 32 on. There's Pete Weber, 8th this week, did make the round of 8. Tommy Jones had an incredible start. We've not seen him on TV since Hammond, Indiana, where he had his long TV win streak snapped. Walter Ray at 17th this week.
Wow. Somehow, I don't think Voss is Irish, but I think he's got some of that luck going for him.
That was ugly.
He'll take it, though, with a turkey.
Come on.
Frames 5, 6, and 7. There's a 15-pin lead.
He's caught every break in the book this game, and he must take advantage of it.
Eighth frame. Lush strike on the money for Brian Voss.
We like to call this the high hard one. Watch this. It's really fast and it's high flush. And that gives Brian Voss a 4-bagger. A 25-pin lead. The 8th frame.
Brian Voss admitting to us last night. First time I've ever heard BV say this publicly. He's thinking about the end of his career. At 47, he admits he's not where he once was as a great young bowler. But folks, today he's still competing like a champion.
Yeah, and you know that mindset may change if he wins today, Dave. Wow.
Strange ball reaction at the end of the 35-foot oil pattern. Ends up in absolute disaster this late in the match for Patrick Allen.
Watch how much this ball hooks down the lane. Just an incredible amount of backhand right there. Ball left of the 4-pin, slotted over in the 10.
Again, comes awfully close behind the 10-pin, but it's an open frame. He had one in the 5th, now again in the 8th frame, and that pretty much spells complete disaster. The lead balloons to 40 pins for Brian Voss.
Too bad, too many shots. That broke that. Can't do it.
Well, certainly not PA's best day, but you know what? He'll be back, and I think that he'll look back on this and say, you know what? I probably made the wrong ball choice. Judging by the back-end reaction of that bowling ball that he's throwing, it looked like it was just too sensitive. If he got a little bit too aggressive at release point, the ball would overhook.
That's why, as the lanes break down, the TV lights, oil, transitions, the change. This is the second match. And from when they practiced before the show started here, they're allowed some time on the TV pair. Those lanes are drastically different.
Yeah, and the tough thing about our sport, Dave, is you can't see the oil on the lanes. All the lanes look the same everywhere you go. You can't see the oil move around. You got to let your ball be your guide. But, you know, the one thing about oil conditions, our oil patterns and lane conditions, is they determine everything from how high or how low the scores are. It determines if the left side's better than the right, if the right's better than the left, if guys that hook it have an advantage, if guys that go straight have an advantage. It's everything that we're about. And conquering those difficult and ever-changing oil patterns.
Well, the conqueror today has been Brian Voss in this second semifinal. He has clinched the match. He'll take on Steve Wilson for his 24th career championship. Before this week, his best finish was at the Keystone State Championships, an event won by Patrick Allen, where Brian Voss finished 5th. The latest in a season Brian Voss has made a show this deep in since 1995. But for 24 years in a row, Brian Voss has made television. He's entertaining. This one we're going to fast track through, folks, because it is over. The late open for PA doesn't end.
This way, Ty. We'll do it again someday. There'll be no fit in the next game.
Now Brian Voss edges toward another victory. Representing the old guard on the PBA Tour. He'll bowl a player who was on the verge of leaving the game at about the midway point of our season. Steve Wilson. The pressure on him to try to win, clinch an exemption for next year. And Brian Voss already is thinking ahead to the final. Brian tells us he's had to stretch a lot more. Takes a lot more vitamins to keep that 47-year-old body in good shape. He works out regularly. Well, now he'll test all of that against Steve Wilson in the final. First, though, our Denny's PBA Tour Skills Challenge. Chris Barnes will compete today against Tommy Jones, and there are some wild shots, folks, coming up. The Flying Eagle is on the way. Turn around there. There he is, Michael Lister, the president and CEO of Jackson Hewitt Tax Service. Great to see Michael aboard again as our title sponsor. Many thanks to he and his great organization. Our final is set to go as Carmen Salvino, who won here in Alabama back in the 60s. It'll be Steve Wilson and Brian Voss. Denny's PBA Tour on the road. Special time for next week's show in Atlanta. Norm Duke returns to defend his title. Bear has been added as the event sponsor for that event. This marks our second consecutive event at Brunswick Zone in Norcross. Then the next week, our second ever PBA event held in the state of West Virginia. The only previous PBA Tour event in that state, 1965, when Emerson Lanes hosted the tour, won by Sam Flanagan. It's all coming up. Be sure to log on to PBA.com for Pro-Ams. Steve Wilson getting ready. We're ready now for the PBA Skills Challenge. It's the Denny's PBA Tour Skills Challenge round of 8 matchup. Tommy Jones, Chris Barnes, and for Jones, challenging first shot.
Oh, that looks far. Is that too far? About 10 feet too far. All right.
He's got to go over the chair. At least 8. It's airborne.
Oh!
That's sick.
Just don't hurt yourself. It's okay.
Yeah, I know you're looking out for me. First shot out of the box.
Be the first.
Yeah. Feeling the love.
Talk about a tough season for Barnes. Overcoming the back injury. Now this. Oh, not close.
Good thing they moved the camera.
I can't believe you didn't leave the camera in.
Jones leads 1 strike to none.
All right, Flying Eagle. Oh.
Everything set for. Oh! That hurts, Chris. Let's take another look at the head injury.
Not doing that.
And now a little Chris Barnes DNA.
Keys. Good thing I had a little hair to pad that. Oh.
Little jab at Tommy Jones.
Feeling the love.
Here we go, Flying Eagle.
He's just kidding. How about this shot, Randy?
That front pin there, he's going to throw that across the lane into the 10. The ball will ricochet off of it and make the 7. Trademark of Chris Barnes right here.
This shot seems impossible.
Oh, no.
You better believe it. The Flying Eagle.
Oh, no.
Perfect. Chris, the Flying Eagle has landed.
Hit the one in the middle.
Jones got a match.
Uh-oh.
He cannot complete the feat.
Oh,
And we're tied 1 strike each.
You know,
First 3 wins it.
Let's strike 5 today.
Oh, God.
Real tough. Watch your head. Look out. Okay.
Be careful, Chris. Through 5 chairs, you got to strike. Can he get it through 5 chairs? Forget the strike part. Yes!
Oh, this is not good.
TJ not exactly optimistic. He's through the 5, but doesn't strike. 2 strikes to 1 for Barnes.
A little too much back-end reaction went through the nose.
Pretty good effort. The first go at it there. 7-10, 2 balls, 1 hand.
Chris Barnes tries to put away Tommy Jones here. Oh, that's awfully nice.
He just makes it look easy.
Good luck.
The best way to complete a 7-10 split on TV. You need 2 balls.
Uh-oh.
You know.
I'll go get my ball.
That's it. 3 straight strikes. Chris Barnes takes care of Tommy Jones. He won the whole thing last year. He's off to the semifinals. Next week, Norm Duke, Mika Koivuniemi. 2 PBA greats put their skills on display for you. That's coming up next week. Now we're set for the Jackson Hewitt Tax Service Classic Championship match. Brian Voss, Steve Wilson. Wilson hasn't won since February 2002. Voss, since 04. One will emerge a champion when we come back to Alabama. Our Denny's PBA Tour fan base coming out. Strong showing here in Birmingham, Alabama. Steve Wilson, an amazing story. He had not made match play for top 32 all year until this week. Only one player still hasn't. It's Tori Torgerson from Sweden. That leads us to the Geico Championship recap. Randy?
All right, Dave. Semifinal number 1, Steve Wilson. You're going to see a beautiful strike here in the 8th frame as he gets by Chris Barnes by the score of 246 to 236. And in semifinal number 2, right here, the 8th frame, big strike. This puts an end to Patrick Allen. He beats Patrick Allen by the score of 258 to 198, setting up a great championship match in the Denny's PBA Tour's Jackson Hewitt Tax Service Classic.
Can Brian Voss, at 47 years old, regain his championship form? Or will it be Steve Wilson, who several times this year has been on the verge of just calling it quits, going back to his family near West Palm, Florida, and starting a brand new career, maybe not even bowling. Late hit number 4, he'll take it gladly. And off to a good start.
Excuse me, Dave. That's the one thing we saw with both of these players when they won their matches was they got nice breaks like that. Stevie trips that 4-pin there. We saw him trip the 4-9 in his first match. Brian Voss got some nice breaks. That's what it takes, man. You got to bowl really, really well, and it doesn't hurt to get some luck either.
Ten-pin for Brian Voss. Certainly had his share of luck in that first match with Patrick Allen. Brian, so glad to be back on TV. He says that is where the fame and all the money is won on the PBA Tour.
Yeah, and he's right. I mean, that's where the big bucks are, and winning obviously takes care of a lot of things. I think this match is going to be very interesting because I think that Steve and Brian Voss are going to be playing right on top of one another, meaning they're going to be using the same line to the pocket. You see where players qualified, very similar there. High games pretty close. 8 of the 300 games we had this week, none of our 4 finalists bowled to 300. You can see what they did in match play. Pretty easy run through match play, but it's all about experience. Brian Voss, 23 titles, going up against Steve Wilson, a guy who hasn't been here in a while.
A little bit.
Oh my. Exactly what I talked about.
He doesn't like it, but he'll certainly take it.
Makes no sense. Makes no sense.
Will this be a problem, though, as he tries to figure out ball reaction later in this match? That's the question.
They got a lot of practice during the commercial break, and to come out and have a shot look like that is strange. As Steve Wilson trips the 4 on that lane, Brian Voss goes light on that lane.
February 24th, 2002, his last win. Perfect shot. November of 03, last TV appearance as he makes his move.
Yeah, he made a big move in, and Dave, you alluded to his last win was on a similar pattern. Steve Wilson has now moved into almost second arrow. He's completely away from where he was in the first game. See their strike percentages. Wilson an advantage. A gutsy move by Steve Wilson. Got practice, found something else that looked better. He went with it.
Goes for a turkey to start off the championship match. We'll have it. Steve Wilson told us last night that if he doesn't win here today, there's a good chance he'll stop bowling. He will not go through the tour trials as he did last year for the last couple of years. You know how difficult that is, the 45 games and the top 10 make it. So this will be it. Brian Voss says family, friends always ask him, Brian, why haven't you been on TV this year? Why aren't you winning this year? Well, there's pressure. chance to get back in the winner's circle.
Even though it's the third frame, that's a real big strike because, you know, he's only 10 back now, and if he strikes in the fourth frame, we're all tied up. But if he doesn't strike there, he falls further behind early on, and you don't want to get too far behind that early because you feel like you're just fighting an uphill battle.
Almost 4.
Speaking of an uphill battle, he's had to fight some injury troubles himself this year. Perfect adjustment. And all 10 down, 60 feet to success for Brian Voss.
One of the things he's been battling is his finish at the foul line because of a bad hip and a bad knee. And you can see it right there, especially when he's throwing it hard. But that one ended up in the right spot, Dave.
Tremendous championship match. Randy is underway. Steve Wilson with a turkey to start. Brian Voss, we are all square. It's even from Bama. Jackson Hewitt Tax Service Classic. Trussville, Alabama. Lightning strikes. Bowling Center. The champion will be crowned in moments. Brian Voss. The last time he won. Going back to last season, December 19th of 04, beat Eugene McCune and then Mike Machug en route to the title. And he told us yesterday how hungry he is to get back into the winner's circle, what it means to him. The desire is there. Steve Wilson, who's not nearly as outspoken. He is a quiet type. But inside, intense. Looks for the front four. Just 7.
Too fast. Slow down.
Well, he was firm when he was further out. Now that he's moved in, he's got to be careful with his speed. Looked like he missed it just a little bit at the bottom. At the release point, and that ball didn't have enough stuff on it to hook up into the pocket. The bad news, he left himself a pretty tough spare to make because of that back pin, and he lost 3 pins in count.
For 8. Not easy to convert. Can he cover?
Look out.
Got it.
Good guess. Good guess.
Right.
Tells us how close he's been to going home and how close he is to his daughter, Sarah. Their daughter, Emma. Sarah's into tennis and soccer. Wants to be there to watch her games and competitions.
She's quite the little athlete.
So we hear. Watching today, big birthday party at home. All 10 down for Dad there.
You know, and I kind of expected that was going to happen after he went light. You see a lot of times players overcompensate. He goes light. Gets a little bit too much of this one and gets very fortunate to trip the 4 out. But, hey, 10 is 10. Brian Voss, however, working on 3 in a row, can take the lead right here.
Up by 3. Chance for a 13-pin lead. 5th frame. Looks for the 4-bagger with his sons, Josh and Cameron, 14 and 13 years old in Atlanta. They're watching today. And see that 10-pin.
Well, that looked like a pretty good shot, too. And when a player starts running it out like that, because this is a game of field, that ball left Brian's hand, and Brian felt real good about it right up until it hit the head pin.
Will increase his stat on the single pin conversion numbers. Now, Randy, earlier we mentioned last year's victory in Orange County for Brian Voss. Compare his release with today.
Well, again, it's all about versatility. This is last year in Orange County. You can see how deep he was. He had his hand position a little bit different. He was hooking ball. Now look how much flatter his hand is at the start, how much faster he gets his body moving, and how much straighter he's going this week. It's all about versatility. Brian Voss is versatile, and that's why he's been able to win out here and stay out on the tour and be competitive for 24 years. Oh, my.
This time, the 7-pin stands for BV.
Just a bad break. Great shot, bad break. Just a stone 7. Watch how the 2-pin goes up and over the 7-pin.
Almost inconceivable. The 2-pin missed the 7 there. But it did. Takes care of the single pin conversion. Now just a 1-pin match. This is close. As Wilson works on a strike, 6th frame. All the way back to the Flagship Open, 2002. That was in Erie, Pennsylvania. He said to us he's not sure he can compete on a regular basis with today's PBA players. Double wood, a 2-8.
It's pretty good right there.
Yeah, that ball never hooked in the back part of the lane. So now Steve is faced with a decision on what to do on that right lane. What kind of adjustment will he make? Does he move further right and kind of go right to left with his shot like Brian Voss is doing? Does he go to a different ball that has a little bit more hook down the lane? Here's where you make an educated guess.
Adjustments, decision-making, strategy. All critical. 2-8 double wood falls for Steve Wilson.
Well, he's made 2 really good spares on that lane, Dave, and 2 tough ones. You can see his favorite lane is the left lane. Unfortunately, he will finish this match on the right lane.
You saw moments ago how long it's been since he's won. We asked him last night, do you have any TV show day superstitions? Steve said, it's been so long since I've been on TV, I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm superstitious about bowling on television.
Wow. Not anymore, that's changed. 7th frame.
Well,
shrapnel everywhere, 4-pin.
Yeah, and he's going high on the left lane and light on the right lane. And what looked really good at the start of the match in terms of the change that he made in angles to the pocket, he's going to have to change again. And this is not the time you want to start experimenting and try to figure out how you should play the oil pattern.
Down goes number 4. Told us last night.
The opposite.
Nervous, but focused. Well, he'll have to focus on adjustments now as the oil again goes through transition phases. You see the max numbers. Things are tight. Big strike, Brian Voss. Looks comfortable on that lane.
Oh, yeah, he looks comfortable on both lanes. Remember in the 6th frame, he left that stone 7-pin. Otherwise, he's in the 220s working on a double. But he's making really good shots right now. And, I mean, even when the lane conditions are easy, in this situation, television, you have to make good shots. You still have to make good shots. And, you know, Brian got away with a lot of stuff in his first match. And right now, I think he's dialed in and making good shots, and he's going to be a handful.
Easy. Easy.
Chance for a 12-pin lead with a strike and some movement to his left.
You gotta do that when he's up there.
And Brian will go through the routine again. About the last thing you need at this stage of a day in his career. Distractions.
Boy, he was ready to pull the trigger, too. A little momentum coming off the strike on the right lane. But it's all mental now. You just put that behind you and just go through your pre-shot routine and let it fly.
Brian Voss is back.
Posted that shot pretty good. Referring to cutting out the 10. When 6 goes the wall, cuts the 10 out. That's a bowler's best friend. That's how you know that the ball's entering the pocket the right way. Instead of going up and around or laying in the gutter kind of dead. Different ball for Steve Wilson. Now he is now making the changes.
8th frame, works on a spare here. No help on number 10. Well, the messenger drifted and fell a little bit shy of its mark.
Well, it was a good move. You can see how much more that ball had down the lane, just not enough to get the weak 10 out. Stevie's still in it. Spare here. He strikes out in 9th and 10th frame. He shoots 235. Right now, Brian Voss still only in the 220s.
Has a 10 pin.
In my opinion, though, Dave, the only chance Steve Wilson will have to win this tournament is by striking here in the 9th frame. And remember, the last couple of shots have been high. He's going to make another adjustment now. I don't think Brian Voss is going to miss the pocket, especially as straight and direct as he's going, and as good as he's throwing it, and as confident as he is. Don't look for Brian Voss to give you any help.
Disastrous split.
Left lane
You can
gun.
see Brian Voss adding up the numbers quickly. A late split. Maybe the end for Steve Wilson.
Yeah, and he totally lost his ball reaction. High, high, high. The last 3 shots on this lane. And this is going to all but do it for Steve Wilson.
Open frame. In the 9th and foundation. Look at the lead up to 27 pins. Looks for a turkey here in his 9th frame. It's all but his.
Yeah, a strike here. It's pretty much done. Finished.
All Brian Voss needs to do is keep the ball in the lane, and he'll have a win.
Well, I said it. He needed to make great shots this game, and he did. He could easily have 9 spare, 8-bagger. Stay behind the foul line and keep it on the lane.
It's enough, baby.
He will have his 24th career title. Still too shy of Don Johnson and Dick Weber. The great Hall of Famer is back in the winner's circle.
Thank you.
Ryan told us last night, Randy, that his season to this point, before today, disappointing but not disastrous. I imagine after the win today here in Alabama, that evaluation will change.
Right, 24 years, 24. Strike. All right, brother.
Great job.
Thanks, Carmen. Fellas, thank you.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
VIP section, our sponsors, and the great Carmen Salvino, who won here in 1965, kind of passing the torch there to Brian Voss as he climbs the ladder of the all-time Danish PBA Tour champions.
I'm gonna go look at that ring.
Brian Voss has his $40,000 and a tour exemption for next year wrapped up, and some nice hardware as well to go along with it. What do you think, BB? Does that fit?
Real nice.
I think it will, too. A champion again, Brian Voss in Alabama. At 47 years old, Brian Voss has become the oldest player on this year's Denny's PBA Tour Champions list. Tom Baker at 51 competed in the final in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, but lost to Patrick Allen. Very happy winner is joined now by Randy.
Brian, congratulations. Apparently the old guy still has it. 24 years on tour, 24 wins. Where does this win rank?
Well, you know, I know my math. That's 1 per year, and you know, if I bowl 6 more years, that means 30 titles, and I'm in this for the long haul. I love this game. I want to thank Jackson Hewitt for sponsoring this, and also the $1 million that they're providing in the majors. The Bowling Center, they did a wonderful job here. Elite Bowling. It's a very special moment. Very.
Brian, how would you best describe your strategy coming into today?
Well, prior to this week, I knew the pattern. I went home and I just threw hard. That's all I did. I threw hard for a couple days, and I knew that if I could do that this week, I've had success on this pattern throwing hard, and it was it. Just throw hard. If it starts hooking, just throw harder.
Brian, congratulations. Dave?
Great finish for Brian Voss as he wins his 24th career Denny's PBA Tour title. The Bear Atlanta Classic, Norcross, Georgia, near Atlanta. Note the special start time on Super Sunday, 5 o'clock Eastern Time, as our coverage of the Denny's PBA Tour continues on ESPN. Now for the entire crew, my partner Randy Peterson, it's Dave Ryan saying so long from Trussville, Alabama, near Birmingham.
That trophy up, baby.
What a day for Brian Voss. At 47 years old, he has returned to the elite of the Denny's PBA Tour with a huge victory today. Now a big question, too. What will happen with Steve Wilson? Will he stay with it? He did not earn his exempt status yet. Winter X is coming up. It's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Congratulations to Brian Voss, the 2006 Jackson Hewitt Tax Service Classic champion. His 24th win, 9th all-time. BB rules today.